Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the Burgers and Fries podcast, your Bob's Burgers companion podcast. With you as always, Brian and Ryan. We're back. We have another new episode, season 4, episode 12.
They're always new episodes. Except for we took a break.
Unless people are returning back to our old episode.
That could be. We, as we have done the last 2 seasons, because they are longer seasons, we had that break. We released the interview that we had with Mario, who's gracious enough to talk forever with us.
Yeah, he was a really fun interview.
A quick plug, if you are a Patreon, the full unedited interview is on our Patreon. So if you want to hear like another additional 40 minutes of us talking, it's on there. So you can go ahead and head over to patreon.com/burgers and fries and sign up to be a $3 Patreon, and you're going to get access to that full interview because we talk a lot about stuff. We get into some other things that aren't Bob's Burgers related. And
well, we talk so much about animation because Mario was such a great... I guess he humored us greatly because we had so many questions about the old animation that he did and all the cartoons that we watched.
He pretty much animated our teenage years and forward.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
There's some extra stuff in there about the show. There's some stuff about his family and his sister. We talked a little bit about that. And the thing, I don't want to give anything away, but you go ahead and go to Patreon. You can get all that if you want. But here, this episode's free to everybody.
Hooray!
Episode 12 of season 4, the Frond Files.
Yeah, all right. And so before we get into it, right?
Okay.
Before we get into it too much.
Sure.
Well, actually,
we haven't gotten into it at all. So
let's actually get into it a little bit more than what I was going to go.
Like you just did.
No, I think we should intro it first with the writers and directors, and then get into it because I want to get into it right away because I want to start talking about it because I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it.
Sure. Well, we got to watch first, and maybe we can we can figure it out from there. Let me just pull that up real quick because I'm not
sorry.
prepared.
I guess I could have done that.
I'm not prepared. You were the one who was like, let's go right into it. So
I wasn't playing Pixel Dungeon.
Didn't even do it. All right. So the episode air date, March 9th, 2014, directed by Jennifer Coyle, written by Lizzie and Wendy Molyneux, not Charlie. And synopsis I have here. Bob and Linda visit the Wagstaff School exhibition entitled Why I Love Wagstaff. Noticing that their children's reports are missing from the exhibition, they contact school guidance counselor Philip Frond, who gives them the discarded reports to read themselves. I like that better. That doesn't give away what's going on in the episode, so if you haven't seen it before, it's great. You're not going to just basically know that there's some essays and the kids wrote some stuff.
There's some shenanigans a-doing.
There is. So, I know this is one of the episodes that Sarah kind of likes because there's extra music in it. Whatever, it's kind of cool. I do like the music as well.
The music's fantastic.
It's a 3-part episode, so we've got 3 stories because each of the kids are going to have their own little essay that they wrote. Those are kind of fun. That reminds me of some of the, it kind of harkens back to the as we just talked about cartoons of our youth where they had the 2 parts, A and B, actual A episode, B episode.
Right.
This is just 3 in 1. It's actually like...
It's kind of like Treehouse of Horror from The Simpsons.
It is. Treehouse of Horror did 3 episodes.
Where they're kind of free to do what they want with story 1, story 2, and story 3. They don't have to relate to each other at all.
No, and they don't.
And they're free to then kind of do the references to all kinds of pop culture.
Yep, exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and pause here. Mm-hmm. We're gonna turn on the episode. We implore you to watch as well. If you don't want to watch or if you've already seen it, you can just kind of listen on through. But we'll be back with the Frond Files.
The brownie chair surprise. I actually did it!
Yes, and from that day forward, Frond was never the same. He quit his counseling job and boarded himself up in his basement, working day and night on both a time machine and a robot that he could send back in time. Last week, he succeeded.
How did you find out?
Because I'm also working on a time machine, and we go on a lot of the same message boards.
So you used your time machine to get here?
No, I had to use his. Mine doesn't work, and it starts fires.
So you came back through time just to tell me this? Just to be a narrator, and you didn't bring any special weapons or anything? Just a bucket load of exposition? And a stupid mustache?
You know what, Louise? At this point, if I had any special weapons, I'd use them on you.
But you don't, right? I mean, just to clarify, Daryl. Just to check that box.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We've watched the episode. We're ready to go and dissect the episode.
I love your very formal introductions. We have watched the episode.
We have watched it.
And we're ready to discuss
it was funny.
the episode. It's
ha ha ha.
HumorBot 5000 says... What was the episode of South Park where the Germans created the humor bot? Do you remember that
Germans
episode?
created the humor bot.
Do you remember that episode?
No, on South Park? No.
Yeah, there was a South Park episode. What was it called?
Nobody remembers.
It's called Funny Bot. And basically, Jimmy's hosting the comedy awards.
Okay.
And he gives out the most unfunny award to the Germans.
No, I don't remember that.
And so it makes the Germans really upset, and so they create a robot, and he's telling all these jokes, and you know, obviously without any tone other than robot tone. And after every joke, he just goes awkward because that's his punchline. So
I vaguely remember the awkward. I don't remember much of that episode. Must not have been very good.
I mean, it was late. It was season 15, so
Okay.
it is later.
Okay.
It is later. South Park. I mean, there's more to it than that. But yeah, it's basically the Germans make a robot.
Okay.
Funny, they call it the Funny Bot.
Weird.
And yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, this actually does have this episode does have a robot of sorts in it.
Yes.
In Louise's story. So yeah. So as we said at the beginning, there are 3 stories, in this episode. 3 short animated shorts. I don't even know a good way to say that. They're just.
Well, it's 3 different stories within a 22-minute period.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to.
And it's even less because you have you've pretty much got 3 in about 18 minutes because
That's true, because you have the opening, and then you have the kind of
closing.
beginning with Bob and Linda and Frond, and then the middle with Bob and Linda and Frond, and then the end with Bob and Linda and Frond.
If you devote about 6 minutes each, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You can tell a good story there. So the first one, though, is Louise's story.
Yes.
And hers is, I forget what hers is called. But I think it's just called Wildlife Wagstaff.
No, there was something else to it.
Well, because Jean's was called The Fart School for the Gifted, and then Louise's was called Why I Love Wagstaff, A Tale of Terror. So I think Louise's is just Why I Love Wagstaff. To kind of lure you into thinking what the heck's going on here. But hers is kind of a weird mixture of the Terminator movie.
Oh, I guess it is just Why I Love
Yeah,
Wagstaff.
or
I
it is
thought
just
there
Why I Love
was a
Wagstaff.
different. I thought there was like a different scientific.
Well, no, it went into scientific font.
Like
and then
font.
but then her title said if you can't read this unless you have a security clearance of $1 million or something.
Yeah.
But hers is like I said, hers is kind of a Terminator / Jurassic Park
Yes.
spoof.
Yeah, it kind of mixes them both a little bit, which I'd watch that movie.
Of an episode.
Okay, the ultimate movie, right? To kind of revive both franchises because they're just kind of meh, right? At this point.
Yeah.
Right? So you have Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World in this instance, and then you just mash it together with Terminators.
Are they doing another Terminator reboot? Like, I know they just rebooted it 3 years ago.
I don't know.
Like, I thought I remember...
There's reboots and movies constantly. All I remember is, like, the recent one where Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator T-800, I think, flies through, like, a helicopter, like, from the sky.
Okay. Now, it sounds like...
And that could have been, like, 5 years ago.
It sounds... Well, because 3 years ago was Terminator Genesis.
Genesis?
Yeah. Okay. In the Red Letter Media, they Terminator Genesis.
Shout out to Red Letter Media. Other nerds from Wisconsin. Woo!
Yeah, well, it's from Wisconsin. Anyway, they're based in Wisconsin now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like they're rebooting that in 2019. But yeah,
Barf.
Definitely, I would totally watch a movie of the hybrids because both franchises are not great.
It's like an Aliens versus Predator, right? Except now you just do it Terminator and
I
dinosaurs.
don't know if I would do Terminator. Well, I don't know if I put them in the same movie.
I'd watch it.
You'd watch Terminators
Because
and dinosaurs?
just knowing that it's just going to be that much of like fan service and cheese, like just knowing that going into it would be entertaining. What?
Would this be where the time machine takes the Terminator back into prehistoric times? Or would it be that the Terminator has gone back in time but accidentally did some shit and that caused that butterfly effect?
Dinosaurs are alive still?
Yeah, so like Theodore Rex style.
Oh, gross. We're like dinosaurs are also human, or also like anthropomorphic.
Yeah,
humans.
Like the dinosaur TV show.
Yeah,
or,
humanoids.
Or
oh no,
Theodore Rex.
No, I think it would have to be some kind of like, in this world, like John Connor would have to live in a world that Jurassic Park exists.
Okay.
And so then the dinosaurs are loose in a city, and the T-800 is also trying to murder like John Connor, and so like they have two things, you know. They're getting at, you know, they're getting fought from both ends, right? They have dinosaurs coming after them because the dinosaurs are loose in New York, and the T-800's after them. What are they going to do? And then they finally, you know, pit their enemies against each other for a giant robot dinosaur duel.
Do they enlist the help of velociraptors a la Jurassic World, who are trained killers?
Yeah, they'll team up with Chris Pratt.
But wait a second. So how would the Terminators?
Yeah.
How would they not survive against the dinosaurs? They're fucking metal, titanium alloy shit.
Dinosaurs' jaws are really good at chomping.
Yeah, so then it would be, but it still wouldn't hurt until unless it was like the T-Rex or the Indominus, whatever the fuck they called it, the Indominus Rex, the Indominosaurus.
Such a dumb movie.
I don't know.
I was really looking forward to it too, and oh boy, did it fall
I think
flat.
a lot of people were because
the second one was better. I feel the second one was better.
Oh my, really? You like that cloning parallel?
I mean, it was still dumb. No one said it was amazing. It was still kind of dumb at the end, but it was still at least better. I think because I knew going into the Jurassic World, I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And then it really kind of fell flat. But the second one, I was like, okay, well, the first one wasn't that great, so how bad can this one be? And it was actually a little bit better. Shut up, it was.
Okay. I don't know about that.
Nope, you just shut up.
Okay, I'll just shut up about that.
All right, so anyway, back to Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, back to Terminator and
Why I Love Waking.
Jurassic Park. Yeah. So she writes hers where she's pretty much Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
And
from the original 1984
this is all the original 84 Terminator.
Yeah.
So she's Sarah Connor. We have Mr. Frond as the Terminator who's coming back, and his whole reason for coming back is because a few years in the future, this is like probably 3 years in the future.
Yeah.
He had the brownie chair surprise happen to him, and he was so upset.
From Louise.
Louise
did
and he
it
was
to him.
so upset about it that he wanted to pretty much terminate Louise.
Go back and kill her. And so he spent all of his time building a robot and also inventing time travel.
Yeah, and so the whole reason that she knows about this is because the Kyle Reese character, who is Daryl in this case, tells her this. So she's like, how do you know all this? Or how do you know he's building a time machine? And he goes, I'm also building a time machine. We visit the same time machine forums. And apparently he didn't finish his.
It's like, so did you build it? Did you build the time machine too? No, I had to use his because mine's not done yet. It's not very good.
And then, so then it's just kind of this whole parody where they're running away from the Terminator from Frond, and they basically find out that the whatever material kills him in the first. Actually, that burning thing was from the
first. Oh, this is from the second one.
From the second one.
Yeah, it does.
So whatever material that was, it turns out to be cream corn.
It was some hot molten lead or whatever.
Yeah, so for the T-2000 or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And so then they find out that the cream corn's going to kill him, so they get him into this happens to be a large vat of creamed corn.
Yes, which is A, disgusting, and B, why are you feeding that to children?
Right?
And D, what kind of material is the container made out of that the creamed corn isn't eating through the container?
Yeah.
Man, this 8-year-old has a lot of plot holes in her little story.
She's 9, but yes.
9, yeah.
Anyway, so he falls into the cream corn, and then they go hide out in Mexico. Belize, actually. Because Gene has a hat that says Unbelievable. Yeah, that's kind of the first one. It's just a nice little throwback if you're familiar with Terminator and Jurassic Park. Because there's only one little scene of Jurassic Park. The reason we bring that up.
Because of the kitchen.
There's the
kitchen scene in Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, where the raptors are running through the kitchen in the eatery or whatever. In the restaurant.
I think it's just in the restaurant.
Yeah. And then they slide through and they got the breath, on the window and it fogs up the window and they open the doors and then they see the shiny person in there and all the different...
so the only two parts that were in
cabinets that Gene's hiding in.
So there was the cabinet that Gene was hiding in that the raptor would, essentially get the girls trying to get into the cabinet. And then the poking their heads or poking themselves through the door. That was also Jurassic Park. Otherwise, there was no metal shiny breathing or anything that Mr. Frond did.
He did it on the window on the door of the window before he came in the kitchen.
Did he do the breathing thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so how does a robot have breath?
Shh, it's a TV show.
Okay.
And the three things that I listed. This is just a fun,
I know. I'm just saying. Just saying. If he's breathing, maybe that's why he melted. He really wasn't a good robot. He still had human parts. He was like General Grievous.
Right.
In Star Wars Episode 3.
Right.
Frond, are you avoiding us?
No, what? No, I'm invoiting you.
Why is your lip all sweaty?
What? No.
Just, okay, stop it. Where are our kids' projects? We can't find them.
They're right there.
You didn't point at anything. When you say right there, you kind of have to point at something.
Oh, I meant they're right there.
Frond, stop. Just tell us where they are.
Fine. Your children's essays were a little creative.
I thought they were supposed to be creative.
Too creative.
Too creative. I like the sound of that, huh?
Offensive. They were offensive. The school superintendent is here, and I'm already on thin ice with her because my credentials aren't valid in this state.
Yeah, that was really weird.
That he had a human heart or some sort of a...
Yeah, it's like at that point, it's like, what's...
I don't know, what's worse, a human heart or Han Solo?
Oh. Anyway.
I told you we'd bring that back in there.
We're not turning this into a Star Wars podcast
Well,
at this point.
There's too many Star Wars podcasts, but we could definitely talk about it.
There's a lot of Star Wars podcasts.
Shout outs to CantoCast.
CantoCast, woo!
Alright, so that's the first one. Second one is the Fart Schools for the Gifted. And this is a spoof of Rock and Roll High School, which is a movie from the 70s that I've never seen.
I've never seen it either. Apparently it stars the Ramones.
It stars the Ramones, and it takes place at a place called Vince Lombardi High School, which, how
do we not know that and we're from Wisconsin is another thing. Is it from Wisconsin as well, or is it just called Vince Lombardi
It's called Vince Lombardi High School, but it doesn't say, at least from the...
Like where it's set?
Yeah, from the synopsis that I've read, it doesn't just say. Let's see, I'll take a look. You leave this one real quick. I'll take a look.
Yeah, sure. Well, this one's a little bizarre, but yeah, Fart School for the Gifted. Gene kind of imagines Wagstaff as farts schools for the gifted, and he is this musically talented student, and they're all dancing to songs about farts. Mr. Frond gets really offended and confiscates his keyboard, and they have to try and, break free and play his magical fart song so everybody can dance and be happy instead of being under the oppression of Mr. Frond is basically what it is. So it's a rock and roll high school, but there's a little bit of Footloose in there, kind of, where they're like, you can't sing and dance, a la Footloose. So that's my 2 cents.
Most likely it takes place in New Jersey.
Yeah,
according to this, because Vince Lombardi.
The Rock and Roll High School most likely.
Well, and the show as well, which is actually fitting.
Rock and Roll High School is a show?
No, the Bob's Burgers take place in Jersey, and most likely the show takes place in the movie. Rock and Roll High School takes place in Jersey as well because there's St. Francis Preparatory School, which is where he went.
Okay.
It looks like, I don't know. There's not much on here,
right?
But we'll go with that. We'll just go.
Sure,
it's
whatever.
all in New
It's
Jersey
all in
because
Jersey.
why not?
Because why not?
Because then that's even just more fun that the creators looked into it and were like, "Where's a local high school that we can use?" Oh, Rock and Roll High School, Vince Lombardi High School. It all makes sense. So why not? We'll give more credit to the writers to having that much time to do that research.
Yeah, right, basically. So this is the one that has like the quickest synopsis. Like that's it. That's the synopsis. They break in, they get their keyboard, and we have a wonderful original song about farts.
Farts will set you free.
Farts will set you free. So we get that song, and it's great, and then it's over, and Mr. Frond is really offended.
Pretty much, yeah. I like how this one intros, though, because I guess Linda read the first story, read the Terminator story, and then she gives this one to Bob, and she's like, "Bob, you read it. I'm going to close my eyes and just get into it. I want to listen." Yeah. And I thought it was pretty funny that she just wants to listen to the story, and she loves it. She's crying at the end. They'd set him free! The farts set him free!
She's just a really proud mother at this point.
Pretty sure, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really not much in this one either.
It's the crazy hair, the wonderful outfits, which I'm
always
really
a fan
cool
color.
of.
I do like that
it does.
I like that each story, and we'll get to it at the end, but I do like that each story has its own look to it. Because the final one, which is Why I Love Wagstaff, A Tale of Terror, which is kind of a spoof of like Walking Dead and like just horror movies in general, has Tina as like a hall monitor type character. And she's got the sheriff's badge on, which has become more famous recently from Walking Dead,
right?
Than anything else. But it turns out that the whole basketball team has become zombified, and I mean, how does that one go? She just ends up becoming friends with the zombies.
Yeah, pretty much, because she like flirts with them, and then they kind of fall. Because this is her Tina Belcher presents erotic friend fiction, so that's where all this comes into. Is that the zombies come in, and you know, she flirts with him a little bit, and then all the zombies fall in love with her, and she's really happy. It's like, oh, let's go someplace all 16 of us can be, you know, can be in private.
Yeah, basically, the evil Mr. Frond, this one really isn't evil. He's just locked himself.
He's just a coward.
He's locked himself in. He's not letting the kids come in to save them.
Right.
And then he gets bitten by somebody while he's locked away.
Right. It was a school nurse.
And apparently, so Tina just has the ability to charm the zombies, and they won't bite her, which is kind of like, that sounded like a spoof on like True Blood and Twilight and shit, where that girl's got this like aura about her.
Oh, I don't know about Twilight.
You not even from the riff tracks?
I mean, I know of it, but I don't know if like they can't bite her because...
No, they could. I'm just saying she's got this aura. It's this weird person who's got an aura about them. I don't want to, hurt this person.
I don't think they're going that...
Well, no, they weren't. I'm saying it's like that. I was saying it's like that. She can charm these zombies.
Right.
And so then she's able to just kind of have them all dancing. The story ends with, in a typical Tina way, just talking about butts. You know, and that is the one story of the three that Mr.
That's
Frond
the best one.
You think so?
I think, I think that's the best one.
I don't like that one.
I like that one a lot more than the other two.
I think that one definitely deserves to be not shown, though, given kind of how graphic it can be. I do agree with Frond on that one. Like, if you're trying to display these for lots of parents to see,
sure,
hers is
and
probably
the zombies,
the one.
Yeah.
The erotic friend fiction is probably the one that cannot be shown, but the other two, whatever.
They're fine. Well, the other one does say farts a lot.
Yeah, so.
No, I don't know.
And the first one just has a
robot being murdered in a pile of creamed corn.
Yeah.
But no, I liked the school farts. I like the terror one. I like the jock itch jokes. It's like, oh, I have to go for our jock itch vaccination, you know, with Tina not truly understanding what jock itch is.
Yeah.
Right? And why that would be. And then she goes in, she sees the nurse's office all tore up. I was like, boy, that jock itch must have been bad. Mm-hmm. You know, and making jokes. And then, like, the zombies are attacking the school, and bit Tammy on her shoulder is like, oh, no, I can't wear halter tops. Oh, no, I already bought Tammy a halter top for her birthday. Yes. You know, I love that. I like Tina running without moving her arms. Which
she's always done that. But she's always done that.
I don't know if I've ever noticed that before.
Which is actually ironic that I say that she's always done it, because in the previous fart school for the Gifted is the only time she's ever run while her arms were moving.
Her arms were moving? That's funny. I didn't catch that either,
But otherwise, the rest of the show, she does always walk, ride, just
with
walk,
her arms at her side.
Run like that.
Yeah.
One thing I did like about the Tale of Terror was when they were doing that pep rally, the banner that they were unveiling that the team was going to run out of, it said District Quarterfinal Champions.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird thing to have a pep rally for. And then as I thought about it, I thought, well, I guess my high school would have done the exact same thing, although we would have said semifinalists, not district quarterfinal champions. So that's even just district champion. That's not even like going to the state tournament. You got to win your district first before you go to the state tournament.
We'll be safest in the teacher's lounge. It's the only door on school property that locks.
Plus, you can smoke in there, in case anyone is feeling stressed out. No judgment.
Oh no, it's locked.
What?
Is somebody in there?
No.
Mr. Frond, you have to let us in. The zombie JV basketball team is right behind us.
You know, I'd love to, but this won't budge.
Mr. Frond, open the door!
No!
You can't leave us all out here to get infected. We're just kids. Ow! The door hurt my knuckles.
All right, look, let me explain. I have to keep myself safe so I can guide those who survive. They're gonna need me.
Makes sense.
Mr. Frond, there's just...
You just stay in there. Keep yourself safe. You're so important. We'll be fine.
Yes, I think that's bad.
I wonder if she can taste his sadness.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny too. That was probably one of my favorite ones as far as the amount of jokes that were in there. Mm-hmm. I liked it. I like at the end where you know it fades back out to Linda reading the story and she just goes, butts, I love butts. And I think this is the episode that really highlights Tina's butt fetish. Oh no, it's this, and then the next episode I'm thinking of too.
Then even in the, I think the first episode.
Or do you think it just delves into it even more?
It just goes into it even more because you got to remember the very first appearance of Tammy in Bad Tammy is when we see all of her friend fiction, and it's all written about butts and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because that whole episode, she's reading this friend fiction, and then it's Mr. Frond touching Miss Jacobson's butt, and they're all holding butts together.
Butts and touching butts, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
true.
That one really kind of takes it to the whole new level, and this just expands on it. And it's never going to go away. Tina is boy crazy and butt crazy, which is fine, I suppose, that she is like that. I know Bob's not too keen on it, but why does he care? She's not getting herself into trouble about it.
No, she's not. I don't think she is either. But...
as of this recording, one episode that really comes to mind is actually in the brand new season 9, the season premiere. One of the boys for now, and I know you haven't seen it because you said you were trying to hold off on watching them until we get to them, which we'll see you in 2 years. But she wants to. She thinks she found the boy of her dreams, and so then she has to pretend to be a boy to go to this Boys for Now auditions.
Right. That's kind of what I gathered from social media.
And she gets in there, and then now she's going boy crazy and butt crazy because there's just hundreds of boys here and butts. And butts, yes. It's a very good episode. I love the music again. Original music for me makes an episode that much better. But yeah, I think at the end, so we've wrapped up the 3 stories. Let's talk quickly and briefly about the whole Bob and Linda thing. So they get there, and they're kind of looking at all these other stories, and the first ones, of course, the ones that Linda picks up are Why I Love Wagstaff. Because Andy goes there. Because Ollie goes there. Yeah. And so those are, of course, that...
Andy and Ollie's.
They are terrible reasons, but I guess they're better than the creative ones that Frond goes. So he's trying to hide from them, of course. So Mr. Frond is hiding from Bob and Linda. They hide behind... He goes and hides behind Miss LaBaz. And he goes... And she's used to it, because she goes, like, it's just another day where he's done that. So then he takes them into the office, they read the stories, and his whole... reason for this, we find out the reason why he's not putting them out. It's not because of how violent they were. It's not because of the music and the farts. It's not about the butts. It's because he's freaking out because they're all written as he is the bad guy. And he wants to know, why am I always the bad guy?
Right.
Why do they hate me?
Why don't they like me? And
he goes into this weird tantrum fit where he's just spitting out that they don't like me and what do I do? Mm-hmm. And Bob, I don't know if it's Bob or Linda, but one of them says that you're complicated and you're uptight, and you kind of need to be not that. Mm-hmm. And he goes, you need to relate to the children better. And he goes, relate, you mean like chicken nuggets and email?
He goes, oh, maybe I should spend more time with them. And Bob goes, no, you should definitely not do that.
Yeah. And so then he gets up and he's feeling better because for some reason, whenever we have a Bob and Linda telling somebody to do something and they kind of talk themselves into something else, they still get credit for being the ones who helped them with it. Oh, thanks, Bob and Linda. You made me feel better about myself. Mm-hmm. So he gets up, and you can see on his butt a brown spot.
Yeah.
And you just know from the beginning of the episode that that's a brownie, and it's probably Louise's from the brownie chair surprise. So he's going to go give this big speech, and he's like, I'm going to show him my best side and talk about how I'm great. And Bob and Linda grab the essays. They grab Jean's keyboard, which is confiscated, and they run out of there.
Right.
And as they're running out, you flash over to the kids at home. I guess Tina's babysitting while they had this event. And Louise kind of hears a chime, and she goes, it happened. I feel it. Mm-hmm. And then she talks about the brownie chair surprise. And this whole last part is pretty funny just because she's trying to explain to Jean and Tina what it is. Because they go, what, brownie chair supplies?
Yeah, brownie chair supplies? What's brownie chair supplies?
What are you supplying a brownie with?
Yeah.
And
she just had this intuition.
I'll play it. I don't want to reenact the whole joke. I'll put it in right here.
Yeah.
It's just really funny. I love how they get into it like that. And then it goes into the song, the Farce Will Set You Free song at the end. Short but sweet episode. It's not really short because I guess it's the same length as every other episode that we watch. Mm-hmm. But having 6 minute short movie things, that does kind of lessen what we need to talk about because there's not very intricate stories. You are writing very concise story arcs. Here's your problem, here's the solution, and each one, problem,
right? Maybe
the dip, and then how they solve it. Let's talk quickly about Let's talk quickly about the episode fun bits.
The fun bits.
Because there was no burger of the day.
Gross.
It does, but there's no burger of the day. So
no, there isn't a burger of the day.
There's the North by Northwest store, which I assume sells vests, which is okay with me. I like a good vest every now and then. And then there was the Termite Mare on Elm Street. Exterminators, which that's a play off of Nightmare on Elm Street, of course. And then again, and the end credits was a pretty cool music video, which you can actually find on YouTube. We'll post a link to it if you want to watch it again, because who doesn't want to keep watching it? Of the "Farts Will Set You Free" song.
It's
from the Frond
pretty
Files.
fun. Yeah. It's a really good song. It's really catchy, and it's also about farts, which is just funny as well.
And I mean, that's okay that we didn't have a burger this week, because last week I think we had 4 or 5 because it was the Super Bowl. And not last week. Last episode had like 4 burgers.
Right. The episode before Mario's interview.
The Easy Commercial, Easy Go commercial had a bunch of burgers. Mm-hmm. But I think the next one doesn't have a burger either, so that kind of makes me pine for a burger of the day every now and then. But at least not seeing one doesn't make me want to have like I'm not sitting here like, damn, I need to have a hamburger right now, because I'm not seeing burger names.
I do. Now that you just mentioned it.
Well, I didn't until I mentioned it either. But it's not like I came in here and I'm watching.
We need like a burger fix whenever we we record these episodes. It's always tough.
Mm-hmm. God, there was a place that I was just thinking about that had supposedly had really good hamburgers. Now I forget. Anyway, doesn't matter. If you know a good burger place, tweet us at Burgers Fries Pod, and we will go to that place in Madison or surrounding area. Mm-hmm. We don't mind traveling a little bit if it's for a good burger.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, you can give us your ideas for that.
We could Instagram our adventures.
The Instagrams.
So much Instagrams. Yeah, I'm gonna get a snack after this. I can tell you that right now.
Are they gonna be Instagrams?
They might be Instagrams. That sounds delicious.
I love a good graham cracker.
Yeah.
It can be Teddy Grahams. It could just be regular graham crackers. You know, break up that shit and put it in milk.
True.
It's like a cereal just waiting to happen. It's delicious. Anyway, we're gonna pause, get a snack. We're gonna come back with our ratings, and we'll see where this episode stacks up.
Oh yeah.
Like a graham cracker.
Can't believe it! Mr. Frond is probably tickling the ivories, and they're probably laughing because they don't know any better.
Well, there's nothing we can do. Sounds like you aren't getting that keyboard back until you learn to behave better.
Or plan B, we get it back by behaving worse.
All right, numbers are up. Oh, I should get a timer. Since Ryan just reminded me of said timer, I should probably do that. I mean, I have to bring something to this podcast, right?
Yeah, more than your
more than I'm currently doing. Yeah, more than just cookies.
Hey, I'm bringing cookies. I'll take cookies any time of the day.
All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
All right, so episode fun bits. That's the
truck in the store.
The truck in the store, and then and stuff like that. I gave it a 6. Mm-hmm. They were there. There's no burger. Credits were great, but again, no burgers. And I don't think I'd go to a vest store. They're like a good vest. And then the term Nightmare on Elm Street, that was one that they should have saved for a Halloween episode. It's a good one.
It's true.
They should have saved it for a Halloween episode.
Well, it's Halloween on tomorrow, so works.
Halloween for us, but not for them.
Not for them, yeah. So we have, I gave it a 7. I would go to a vest store maybe once or twice and get a couple different styles of vests.
Better go quick because the stores don't last very long.
I can pull it off. Yeah, I can pull it off.
Story, I gave a 7. It's kind of hard to give a good rating on a story when we had 3 very short stories.
Yes.
But they were all good in their own right, enough to give it a 7.
Mm-hmm. I gave it a 7 as well. I liked the references. I laughed many times for said jokes. I'm moving on.
Moving on to humor, which you just kind of already talked about.
Yeah.
I gave humor a 7. There was definitely parts where
Me too.
I laughed. I've laughed more in other episodes, but there was good humor here to keep me interested enough.
Yeah, same for me. I liked Tina's story the best, I think, and that's kind of what kept it a little higher. So I gave it a 7.
And then others, I gave an 8. The music, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, we didn't have any special voices that were new, but we had an original song. Technically, we had 2 original songs.
Yep. Aziz came back, David Herman came back.
And Farts Will Set You Free. So I gave it an 8.
Yeah. I gave it a 7. Thought it was great. Thought, it was just a fun little kind of triple story. You know, that they were able to do kind of in homage or in a way to the Treehouse of Horror. So give it a 7.
Yeah, and that's 7s for both of us then across the board. Technically,
so. Yeah.
You get it a 7. Mine averages out to a 7, so that's another 7. A good solid episode.
Yeah.
Again, there's not really much to say about this episode. It's there. It's a good break from like the standard.
From the usual, they can get a little more creative. Mm-hmm. You know, the writers with what they do, and especially and the animators as well. It's not, because in the Belchers world, everything is kept very straight-laced, very simple. Like, this is what it is. They're in the real world. There's no magic. There's no, fart music.
Yeah. I mean, there's fart music.
Fart music isn't going to set you free, kind of thing. Zombies aren't real. So it's a way for them to kind of explore and get a little more creative. So it was fun to see.
Yeah. They don't stray from reality too far.
Thank you. I think that's what I was trying to say.
The talking toilet's about as far as I think they get from,
which is real. I think I've seen one at Costco.
It's not a fake. I mean, maybe the extent of this talking toilet is kind of blurring those lines, but it's not an impossible thing.
No,
it's not like in Flintstone, the Great Gazoo. You know, it's not
right.
I mean, that show is pretty rooted in reality until you get to the later seasons where you've got a
rooted in reality. You really making stone houses and talking parrots and dinosaurs?
Okay, so the dinosaurs.
You want to go with the Flintstones as a show that's rooted in reality?
All right, I didn't want to have this discussion, but we're going to have it now.
Okay,
we're going to have it now.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's throw down.
So I feel like the Flintstones are pretty rooted in reality until we get to Great Gazoo. Ignoring the fact that the dinosaurs talk because they're just breaking the fourth wall, it has nothing to do with.
And using a bird as a record player.
Why not? It's a sharp enough needle where you could use it as a record player.
You couldn't. That's not rooted in reality any more than what this episode that we just watched is.
I didn't say the show was not rooted in reality, but you can replace everything that the dinosaurs are as tools with real tools. They're just making analogies to a Stone Age compared to real age. What can you replace Gazoo with? What is his real life or his not prehistoric?
Okay, you're gonna go run out there with a car. Your engine breaks down. You're just gonna jam your feet right through the floorboards and start running away. Don't think so.
No, but it's still, the car is still realistic. A car is still a realistic thing. A Martian is not.
Obviously.
A record player, regardless of the utensil being used, a record player is still
a bird. It's a bird. How are you gonna get a sound out of a bird?
It's still, the record player is still a thing. A zombie's not a real thing.
Yes, of course.
You can't
use a bird. I get where you're coming from, but I think you're wrong.
No, I'm justifying my use of Flintstones, regardless.
No.
You can thank Keisuke for that, because now he's got me watching Flintstones again. I'm almost done with all, 5 or 6 seasons that they were? Yeah.
Is that why you're not talking to me at work anymore?
No, I'm watching them at home.
Because you're
watching
Flintstones.
The kids and I are watching them. Kids love watching Flintstones, too.
That's nice.
It's not a great show. I mean, watching them all, you could definitely tell there was a huge dip in quality, between seasons.
Oh, really?
Especially when they got the kids. When Bam Bam and when Pebbles first and then Bam Bam came in, then it starts to kind of lower its quality.
Pebbles, Bam Bam, and all of the gang.
You want to know a show that actually that was not as good as you might remember? The Jetsons.
Really? Because I like the Jetsons more than the Flintstones.
Sure. So here's the thing. The Jetsons had one good season back in the 60s.
Really?
And then it was canceled and brought back in the 80s. Do not watch the 80s Jetsons with all your life. They are awful.
Huh.
Watch the original 60s Jetsons.
Interesting.
I did not know that they rebooted it in the 80s.
Me neither.
And so when I'm downloading these episodes and I'm getting them, I'm like, why? I'm looking at the database.
You're looking for the 10-year jump.
Well, that's the thing is I'm looking at the database and it showed Jetsons 60 to 88. And I'm like, oh, they have 8,000 episodes, and it shows 70. I'm like, where are these episodes?
Yeah.
Are they counting the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones movie from the 80s? No, they just had 1 or 2 seasons in the 60s and then cut to the 80s.
Interesting.
Same with Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest actually started in that era and then cut.
I noticed the difference in the animation styles between the Johnny Quest and then also in the Jetsons as well. I wonder why it got so clean after a while.
Well, it's 20-year break is why it did it.
Yeah, interesting.
Johnny Quest didn't have that large of a break, but they did have a 70s version, then an 80s version, and then they had the Real Adventures in the 90s, which was a good show.
Yeah,
I like the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. But yeah,
okay. Anyway,
now that we're back off track,
yeah.
That's a different
we're
podcast
really
for a different time.
On this one, so. I think we'll end it here now that we're really done talking about the episode for the day. So, thanks everybody again for listening to us. We are Burgers and Fries Podcast. You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram now. I do want to give a shout out to one of our Instagram besties. Her name is Ink Jacket. I believe it's at. You can see, and I can't even get over there.
Are you sure this one is a she?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Okay, you're pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm pretty sure.
I apologize.
Ink Jacket on Instagram.
Apologize in advance.
We're having a secret love affair through the DMs with just all the nerd stuff that we're doing. I showed her my Star Wars tattoo, and we just became best friends forever. So, shout out to Ink Jacket. And that's all I wanted to say about that.
You see that, Sarah? I'm not the one with the secret girlfriends. Brian is.
Yeah, totally.
Take that. So yeah, that'll do it. Did you say where you can find us? Oh my god, I just broke my case. Nice. And you can't eat while we're talking at the end. We didn't finish. Now you gotta finish.
I'm hungry.
Did I actually break this? Because this thing's a piece of junk anyway. No, I didn't.
Holy crap.
This is a piece of shit. Oh, I did kind of. Oh, no, it was broken from before.
So yeah, Twitter, Instagram is where they can find us.
Yeah. How about where they find a podcast?
Podcast
iTunes,
anywhere, wherever they found us today. We'll be there next week.
Have you verified that we're still on the Spotify?
Yeah, as much as I can.
Sweet. Well, that's great.
I don't think they would take you off. I think we're still on Spotify.
Okay. I don't know what their rules are.
I don't know what their rules are either. But once we have a link,
maybe we're too good for Spotify, or maybe we're too good for Spotify and they don't want us on there because we're taking all the views from other people.
No, I don't think that's it.
Okay. Anyway, that's gonna do it.
Yeah,
Burgers
I think
and fries.
so.
Next week is Mazel Tina.
I'm gonna wrap this one up.
So we get to learn some fun things about the Bob's Burgers family, and I don't just mean the original family. I mean the extended Bob's Burgers family. We learned stuff about the town in this next episode. And,
yeah, it'll be good.
You don't want to miss it. You gonna finish, or am I gonna have to do the whole outro?
I don't know what you're doing.
What do you mean you don't know what I was doing? I'm waiting for you to.
Sorry, I was reading to see if we're still on Spotify.
Throw it this way.
So anyway, that's gonna do it for us. Again, thanks everybody for listening. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, and that's all we're going to say about that.
We already did the Patreon at the beginning.
No, but they can't forget.
That's true. Now
they
have no excuse.
We'll be back next week with another fun episode, Season 4, Episode 13. Tina Mitzvah, right?
Mazel Tina.
Mazel Tina, that's the one. Whatever. So, we're Burgers and Fries. Everybody take it easy. I'm Brian.
I'm Ryan. Don't you tell me no lies.